Okay, so once again, good morning to everyone. And again, the risk disclaimer here: invest in the money that you can afford to lose, and you should not invest in the money that you cannot afford to lose into CFD trading. Due to the nature of leverage products, CFD trading can result in loss of all your capitals. All right, risk disclaimer here. Before we get started with today's sessions, I would like to quickly run through what is the thing that we have been covered yesterday, and also some of the Q&A lah, right? If you guys have some questions to ask. Yesterday, first thing first, we have been talk about account register. Whereby account register, we have mentioned that it will be updated officially on June 30, or maybe slightly earlier. Just check your email that if there is any updates on the robot programs, and over there we will ask you guys to do a simple thing, right? For any MD4 account, you just drag and drop this account register, key the email, then click OK. And once you have been done this, it will automatically update the ROM program. Just click OK. Then all the things will be start to process here. Now it may take a bit time. Okay, depends on your computer. It will take some time, all right. So all you need to do is just to let it finish. And once it's finished, then you're done. All right. So let it finish for a few more seconds. Okay, done. Okay, completed. You can use the robot program right now. Now, in case that there is any errors, it will actually ping you up. There's any errors. Okay. Now, next thing is about the criteria of me doing the robot trainings. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because there are too many criteria and too many options of robot setup. But essentially, I am focusing on these three criteria. Number one, reproducibility. Number two, configurations. And number three, adaptivity. When asking, right, demo need to do registration? Yes, you will need to, right? It's that as long as you are using my robots in any MD4 account, you just need to register it. Just drag and drop. You'll do, just key in your email, then you'll do everything. Okay, so the reproducibility is to, isn't the 6 EA you showed yesterday in one account with 6 chart. Okay, wait, let me finish first. Okay, so the criteria that I choose a robot is number one, reproducibility. Is now every single time you do backtesting, you need to make sure that you are having the similar result. Okay, and that's only make sure that all the things that process again and again is correct. So here we have been asking yourself that you need to upload the historical data. Only when you have the historical data, it will be a correct backtest on most of the time. Okay, this is very important. And the second thing is that you need to have clarity on how each parameter affecting the result in terms of which are the settings that is more important to get ROI or drawdown. And you need to make sure that same thing, with the same setting, you should get the same result so that it's reproducible. When you have different setting, you should have a justifiable result, meaning that when you have effect of increasing the RSI, what it will turn out to be, and when you have lower moving average, what it will turn out to be, right? And then you need to make sure that different market conditions have different kind of result. That is definitely crucial. And yesterday we mentioned that using one setting is not enough. Definitely you need to have multiple settings under the same markets to hedge up each other risk. And the good thing is that make sure that you need to simplify the setting as much as possible, because the more you have the setting, the more likely that it will end up to be curve fitting, and lesser the setting also can catch it to be more robust so that it can perform in most of the market and most of the time. Second thing is that preferably to have a two variable system, or like as long as you change A, B, then it will tell us to be ROI, such as moving average fast, moving average low. As long as two moving average, those kind of simple adjustment, it usually will lead to better result than compared to you adjust every single thing. All right. Adaptivity is that you need to make sure that the robot does tested among all these four market criteria. It's not necessary to make sure that it win on all market conditions, because the more it win, the less profit it is. Okay, market condition. More market condition cover, lesser profit, but this will M for consistency. Lesser profit is really less. It's like 1 to 2% per month. Okay, and this is like considered high already. Okay, 1 to 2% considered quite high already. and just M for consolidate because you are enter the trend, drag it over the entire period. But if you can cover less market condition, usually your profit is higher, 2 to 5% per month, is to M for boosting return. Okay, so this is the convention of it lah. So let's say that this is let's say you are using moving average type of strategy. Okay, that doing trend up and strongly trend up only. But when it's ranging, moving average will be losing. So most of the time you'll be focusing on only trending period to execute the trade. Okay, and also the ability to find the settings is also important during the short periods. Okay, short period means that black swan events. Okay, how does a robot manage the drawdown, etc. Boosting. Okay, thank you. Okay, during black swan event, how does the robot do the cut loss? Does your system have a management system to cut loss everything when the market started have a big crash, such as during COVID-19, S&P 500 have dropped by 20+%, right? So how many of you actually have the robot system that in place to cut loss in that kind of worst case scenario? And this kind of worst case scenario is need to be extreme lah. In a situation that on once a year or once every 5 years, those kind of super extreme. So your market, your robot, right, need to be stress test over this 4 market, and in a year basic, unlikely that going to have like this kind of big shock. Unless you focus on small conditions, big shock is likely to happen. Just that, because you're high reward ma, so definitely it's a high risk. Right, it's always 1-to-1. How to understand the robot? These are 5 criteria to understand the robot. And yesterday we have been using this to study about moving average, lag, and also more details about drag testing. Specifically, how to make an adjustment of each settings and how to read the graph and find out what will be the best in terms of choosing which area that is more profitable. And then we come out to be more and more about how to attach to the live chart as well, how to use DigiV2 Lite, and DigiV2 Lite is using RSI base. And we have proposed to have this kind of metrics whereby instead of having one portfolio, you combine the portfolio and you can roughly see the returns of it in the Excel format. All right, of course, it's not going to be a perfect straight line, but when you hedge out each other, at least the drawdown is minimized. Okay, and then you can see that from here as well, you have what do you call it? The 6 charts platform. Okay, this 6 chart is something like this. Yesterday we've been talking about this 6 chart, right? And this 6 chart itself, number 1 is like here. Okay, you are setting up a DigiV2 base setting that used in 2 market conditions. Condition number 1 is mean reversal, which is what the RSI commonly good at. And number 2 is trend following. Yes, RSI do able to reverse it. I mean, the DigiV2 here that I mentioned is DigiV2 Lite. They're actually doing on the reverse opposite direction. This one is buy sell on 70-30. This one is buy sell at 30-70, right? Which is 100% opposite. Moving average also can do the same thing, right? You can do the mean reversal type and also the trend following type. And this 4 is trading all together into one single market. And the purpose is to hedge out each other risk all together. And let's come to the point whereby I have set up this kind of charts. And now what you can see here is that we set up the light robot as a method to do the entry. So it will end up to be this one is we cut it like this half. This is for DigiV2 Lite mean reversal. This is same DigiV2 Lite mean reversal. This is trend following using MA Lite, and this is trend following using another MA Lite. But then this one is more on mean reversal. Mean reversal means like this. Okay, this one is M for like this, and this one is M for like this. Uptrend, downtrend, uptrend, downtrend. Alright. Yesterday we have been shown that how does all the robot can actually cater to this kind of different market conditions just by choosing the different type of setting to do a matching. And this one is only handled for entry. Okay, this one is only handled for entry, and this one is handled for closing. And closing one, we are using UTS to handle for profit side. Okay, and yesterday we said that using the trailing stop loss method. And this one also a robot that do for closing, just that it handle for losing part, meaning that on your max drawdown per session. Okay, let's say that any of the robot here make a mistake, at least you can have other robot to cover it. Let's say that this is making losing, other robot that can still cover the losses over this. But what if the market is so catastrophic that this all is in losing? Then this robot will use it to cover all other losses, and then we'll just make a cut loss system. So by form out 6 charts into one single account, you can easily hedge each other, and then you will be able to much easier to control your risk. Alright, account register for robot updates, we need to do it once for one MT4 account or on each chart within the account. Once in the MT4 account, and it's going to be done for all, unless we have sent an email. But for the time being, just once per MT4 account. And for the time being, we will let you know that if the method able to be run on most computer or not, because we haven't updated it yet. Everything that I mentioned over here is not yet fully updated into the chart, okay, into your robot program. But sooner or later, we will update it and we'll inform you guys that when will be the right time to update all these things. If I opened, okay, another thing is that also, even when we have updated the robot program, do double check that in the email, we may give you additional information that may slightly different from what I said today, right? As we have been still testing out the architecture and also infrastructure on it. If I open another pair like UTS also cover, no, all of the market here must be in the same pair and in the same time frame. So the first bot for entry also mean reversal on it. Yes, correct. Essentially, you got 4 bots to do the entry and 4 bots to do the exit. I mean, 4 bots for entry, 2 bots for exit. Now, this is the light robot, but of course, you can combine with more other robots to increase the number of trades. But remember, more trade you have, more risk that you're going to have in the market as well. Okay, so come down, we have been talking about how to use season analysis, especially combined with Excel. And then from Excel, you can have a clear guide exactly that on that particular month, how much is the risk that you have scale, how much is the risk that you should be increase or decrease, right? Based on this kind of seasonality chart. And also a monthly predictions, which is not this one. Yep, this one. All right, we have come up with this kind of probability plot, and then we can clearly justify that how much percentage of risk that we should increase or decrease in this particular market. Next thing, we also talk about a bit on fundamentals, on using fundamentals to slightly predict that what will happen to the market in the future, more toward qualitative type. But in terms of quantitative, meaning that you want to talk about the numbers, that one will a bit more on Excel calculation, which is we don't cover it for the time being. But you just need to know that the most important component of the market is relationship between stocks. Okay, just draw it again. Now, in the financial market, right, there will be GDP as what are the key metrics of it. And then we have others market that is reflecting the power of GDP, which is stocks market, USD market, meaning the currency market, and then you have the bond market. And also, at the same time, you have inflation, and then you have interest rate. Now, these are all the common economical data that we have been seeing yesterday, and there will be other as well, which is like job. Job is like employment, okay? Job. So yesterday when we mentioned that about a few things in a single country, let's say that there's no other country doing business, right? Just depend on single country like USD only. A job is actually a indicator for GDP. All right, job can actually predict that what will happen to GDP very, very closely. The more job it is, the more GDP is going to be. And when GDP is getting higher, it is actually increasing on your stock price. But stock price is opposite relationship with USD, because people are using USD as a tool to invest into stocks. And specifically, what is the thing that making it to be counterintuitive is like when stock price increases, why is the stock price will increase? Is because of interest rate. Interest rate reduce. Okay, when interest rate reduce, it will contribute to stock price increase because people can have more money to rent into stock already. Interest rate. Interest. And then because of interest rate reduce, then it will contribute to USD reduce as well. And when USD reduce, what will happen is that people will tend to be more money to put into the place that have more ROI. Now, if the opposite side interest rate increases, stock price will reduce, and because of that, at the same time, people invest back to USD. And at the same time, because interest rate reduce, what will happen is that the bond price will increases, because bond price is highly determined by the interest rate. It's like people will either that invest into USD or they will invest into bond. It's an option either these two. All right. And they will always invest in a currency that have more ROI. Right? One of the option that have more ROI. And the reason why interest rate will increase or decrease is really depend on the job and depends on the inflation, which is like CPI plus PPI. Okay, this over here. And CPI PPI affected by job as well. The more job it is, the more likely that the inflation or deflation is going to happen because people are working and the products may go even higher price. And higher price, then it will end up to be interest rate problem. And it will contribute back to here as well. Now, we don't exactly know that where it will start first or how it goes, but in the entire economy, it is all in the loop cycle. All right. So in a way, in the event whereby right now the most important element that increases the faster is interest rate, right? This one. When this thing increases, the number of jobs also increases. It will lead to inflation. Right? This thing is inflation already. And when inflation increases, what happens to market? Interest rate increases, this thing increase, this thing decrease, this thing decrease as well. When this thing decrease, reverse back, this thing will decrease, and the job may be stagnant. All right. Now, right now, this thing has been stagnant. What will happen when this stagnant? This will stagnant as well. Stock price will start to rise because this thing stagnant, people will invest into other places. Money does not disappear, it just transfer. So it transfer to here or transfer back to here. So likely that people will transfer back to here right now because they are foresee that GDP is going up. So that's why here and here all come to this part. So this is like a framework of qualitative type that you will know, not just on Forex, but what will be the other market option that you will potentially a good way or place to do the investment on. All right. Let me take a screenshot. That will end up the qualitative type. And now then from here, you will roughly know that anything that we talk over here, right, has nothing to do that, if the GDP is higher than the previous number, or if the inflation or the job is lower than the previous number, you have nothing to do with that because it's not about how much is the job that increase or decrease over the last month, but it's more like which one is the trigger factors of the economic growth. All right. Right now, the trigger factor is definitely the inflation. And inflation getting higher, only everything will start to run. If inflation stagnates, interest rate stagnates, then the next thing we'll look at is GDP. It's either a thing that have more shocking returns, then they will look into that metrics even more. Right? So it's a fluid and it's a dynamic effect on the entire fundamental economy. All right. So the keyword is money does not disappear. It just transferred. Okay. Now the next thing is about the usage that I mentioned, right? So over here I said that focus on the robot, light robot as an entry. Okay, use this light robot for the entry, and then use these robots to encourage for default or justifiable setting. You may go to do optimization, but then don't over optimize. Don't take everything, find the best result, and only take the top two. No, cannot work in that way. You have to work in what you have done. You have back test in a history, and then you have forward test as well. Forward test is like this is today date. You don't backtest on everything, right? You have 1 month earlier, which is this is like May, and then this is like January. You backtest in this period of time. You make sure that it is performing well in this period of time, and then you test it within this short period of future. All right. See that in the future if it's profiting or not. If it does and it has more logical trade over here, then you can apply in the live market. Don't apply it immediately, right? Usually we set a bit of buffer, usually 2 weeks to 4 week time. Okay, and then the time frame wise, you can use any of the standard time frame. Don't go for like weird time frame like 3-minute time frame. Those is not so acceptable lah. And because the market that you go, I mean the number of robot that you're going to trade is slightly more than normal. So what you can do is that you can lower down the risk per trade per single robot, but it really depends on risk per time. Okay, but I always said lower the risk, more the consistency. Now UTS also will be the main robot to do the closing, and I will suggest that using the most simple one by point to do the closing part. Now robot must have a stop loss to avoid any black swan events, and the risk management robot itself prefer that you have to make sure that it can close at least 3% of your account per session. 3% of your account, I am assuming that you are using 100K, then your maximum drawdown per session, meaning per trading, entire trading trades, right? The maximum drawdown is about $300. That the threshold must be higher than $100 or higher or equal to $100 so that you have more room of fluctuation. Because you set to be too less of the drawdown allowance, right? It will make it have no opportunity to fluctuate or even to recover. When it can't recover, then pretty much that it can't do anything. And yesterday when we mentioned that it is better that we all standardize to start at $1,000 because you start on lower than that, right? Basically you can just aim for either that you margin call or you win everything. You want to use $100 to earn is, I would say, kind of impossible, right? So definitely what you can do is go for demo, send account, and then live account. Test it on most of the major market in USD, and you can also test it in all volatile pair as well. Okay, and then last thing that we will talk is about how to do fine tunings in using seasonal. Know exactly how much the lot size that we should bet on the buy side or downside. All right, and with that said, that's all the things that we have been covered yesterday. And let's open up for Q&A. That if you guys have any question regarding to the the things that we have been teach yesterday. Okay, so I guess no questions. Okay, good. Now, the next thing that I would like to cover today. Now, the characteristic of UP Lite is also slightly easier to understand, but then the consistency on a monthly basis is there. It's going to be get lessing profit, but it's aimed to be stable. All right. It's not going to lose much, but then the challenge is to be ultra safe 2%. The market that you can focus is all those like major pair and also like gold. The time frame that you can use is 30 minutes and 1 hour. That doesn't matter because backtest and the live is both going to get the same result. Then we would like to talk a little bit more on how does UP trade first. In order to visual UP trade, right, I have one of the system that's in the indicator. We call this a support resistance 4 and 5. You can use it in, let's say, Euro USD. Just drag and drop of this and then click OK. Now, what you can see over here is that this line is support resistance 4 and 5. I am going to change it to be 3 right now. Okay, essentially it is using Fibonacci support and resistance. As what you can see, right, the support and resistance in the chart. Now, recently the market is very volatile, so there are tons of opportunity there. How to see this? You see, if we a bit of look backward bias, we look into from here onwards. Okay, every single like ladder here is considered as a days, and you can see that right now from here to here, it draw down by 100 points, then it pull back up, then you can make profit. And then here come down, draw down by 100 points, and then the next day also go back up, so you can make profit. Next day come down, draw down by maximum 174 points, and then you can make profit as well. Here it touches, as long as it touches at support resistance 3, goes back up. Touches, goes back up. Okay, we don't aim for go too far as well, we just go for like 20% pullback. Also can be making profit. Here also, touches, pull back up. And then here also, touches, pull back, then come down. Just touch, pull back. Just no there, touch, then pull back. And then this one touch, draw down all the way to 300 plus point, and you may be still floating losses. Alright. Now, in this event, right, what you guys can see is that this is actually the strategy that we look at. Basically, it's a method that we say that in a day, it is expected that the market have a certain daily volatility. And this daily volatility is expected to move within a standard one S&R tree. From R3 to F3, this is the range of the market that it will move. And within this range, right, if the market go beyond this, we were expecting that it will come back to here, back to normal. If it come out, we're also expecting that it will go back to normal by doing this. So what we can do is that we can just do the prepare to buy low and slightly to be selling high. Now, this S&R trade is on a daily basis, right? Which is just calculated on a daily basis that how far that it can fluctuate. Now, definitely it can fluctuate just in within the range, but as long as the market is still normal, we will catch it. So last Friday, the market is this Friday, no, last Thursday. Last Thursday, the market is extremely volatile. No one exactly know that what is happening there. Just that there are a lot of buyers starting to come into Euro USD after Federal Reserve have confirmed that their rate is not going to increase, meaning that people are slowly not investing into US dollar right now. They are slowly diverging to other markets already. Now, the robot that we are designed, which is UP. Okay, you can go to Expert Advisor, Advanced, then find for UP. Just drag and drop. Then you can see that right now, the support resistance 3 just match here. 3 is also matching here. And then matching 4 and 5. 4.5 and then there's 5. Hence, the robot is trying to aim to sell at this level one. Alright, you see, it tries to sell exactly at that level. And it's going to update on a daily basis. So that you don't need to worry that, oh, what if I missed the opportunity? No, the robot will be always there to catch the opportunity for you. Now, here I will drag slightly to here. In live charts, right? Usually in live chart, I will usually prefer to look it at 30-minute time frame. Just look at 30-minute time frame because 1 hour time frame and 30-minute time frame, essentially the support result is the same lah. Alright. Even you go to 5 minutes, also the same. Just that 30 minutes you can see more stuff lor. Alright. You can see more presentable items here. And I would like to repeat again on how does a UP actually trades and what are the important features of UP. Let's say that we are taking S&R 3 as a benchmark entry, which is here. When the market from here drop to here, it will enter for the first buying trade. At this first buying trade, right, it will put a stop loss, and then it will put a take profit. Now, here,
but when you can't eat or feed your family, that's when it's like game on.
Okay, here what you can see is that the take profit as been mentioned is about 150 points right now, but it's not the right answer. The right answer is always look at the 20% of that ATR, and then the stop loss is fixed. This is the right answer. So how to read this take profit is that it's saying that on that day itself, okay, control Y. When you control Y, you are able to see this, right? This line. This is what we call as period separator. And this period separator is whereby it just segment out that between this date, this is the day itself. Okay? And it really comes down to SNR3, then what you are measuring is measuring from the highest of the price come all the way down. So it will become like this. Let's say that the highest of the day is here, and if indeed come down to SNR3, which is from here, drop all the way down to here, it's about 2,000 plus point. And in this 2,000 plus point, it also means that your take profit is equal to 2,000 point, with 2,000 plus point, times that 20%, which is equivalent to 400 point. This is where that the take profit is really be calculated. It's not just based on this, it's based on the highest of the day. If it come down to the entry level, that will be the entry of the take profit. Because we aim for a pullback of 20% after that. That is what we aim for. But what we have done is that we just expecting a take profit. How about the stop loss part? The stop loss part is the opposite directions, whereby we set a fixed point of 400 point. Now, the difference between this robot is that the robot have a mechanism to recover the losses. By default, it will recover for only 2 times, meaning that only 3 maximum buy trade will open. And by default, the lot size that will be open is 0.1 lot, and then there is a multiplier of 2. Where this come in? Let's say that the first one is 0.1 lot. Okay, then it indeed come down, hit the stop loss. What will happen is that it will make another one more buy. We call it buy number 2, and then the lot size will be double up, meaning it becomes 0.20. And over here, it will set back the same stop loss again at a 400 point. At 400 point, it will still end back to get the same take profit. Why? It want to recover the previous losing trade, and also at the same time, it would like to make even more profit, because the lower that it goes, the better the chance that it can recover and get more returns. If the market really goes down again, hit another stop loss, it will buy 3, it becomes 0.4. So this one times 2 again, and times 2 again, then they will set up a third stop loss, and then aim back to get back to the same height of the market again. Now, after getting back to here, right, what if that it really come down to hit the stop loss again? If it hit the stop loss again, then we call it an ending already. Never going to recover anymore. Because if it come down even further, right, this is what we call it as abnormal market already. Because you can see, count down 1, 2, 3, here to here is at least 1,002 point already. Yeah, correct. 1,002 point already. So it Euro USD itself, from here to here is already down by 2,000 point, and then it comes down even further to be 1,002 point. That is like 3,000 point movement in Euro USD in a day, and that is equivalent to 1.5% or 2% changes, which is very, very, very unlikely that it's gonna happen on a daily basis itself. So in a daily basis itself, if it happened to be like this, then what we can do is that just stop out and don't do anything. Last time when we have first launch of UP, right, the robot that we have been using is about having 5 times of recovery, which is quite a lot. And the idea is that we just let it to be continuously recover, and then just let it to double up the lot size until the end that we can have fully make the profit. But then what we realize is that the more recovery that you're going to do, the more unlikely that you're going to be profitable. So that's why we said that set a benchmark of 2 default for you guys. And yeah, After it reached, it will stop the trade for the day, and then it will just wait for the next day, all right, which is the next trading day, to fully update the entire supply resistance again, and then it will wait for the new entry. Okay, it is like immediate action. Now, after this, not enough. Last time, the robot just come back to wait for this take profit, right? Let's say that it's over here. It indeed want to come back to here is a good idea, but then the thing is that take profit right now is too far away from here. It's about probably about 400 point. Okay, here is 400 point already. Then you need to plus another 2 more 400 point, right? Which is like 800 point. About 1000 point of take profit is very, very, very far away. And in order to reach that much easier, right? And also we need to have a protection system. We will set a break-even tag. This break-even is a mechanism whereby if the market goes up from here, goes up, as long as above this line, you will set a stop loss here first. This stop loss is prevent that in the case that suddenly, after pullback, suddenly drop again. Now, at least we have a trade that is in break-even first, okay? And in the event that if it goes up, then there will be better, all right? Then you have big profit. Now, this break-even is to break even on 3 trades. Let's say that the first one is losing, second one is losing, and the third one need to be not just profit, break even, right? Not just need to profit a bit, need to be profit a little bit more so that it can cover up all the previous losses and then still make a little bit of minor profit. And that is whereby we talk in the break-even buffer in the settings. You can see from here. Break-even buffer is here. All right. I said that when I have been break-evens, what I want to do is that I would like to recover the first 2 losing trades first. Okay. And then after that, I would like to break even to get additional 10 more points of profit. Right, that is what we are aiming to get. Okay, and it's an automatic break-even system, so just leave the setting to be default. So this is how the UP actually enter the trades. Now, just now we have been mentioned about using supply resistance 3 to enter the trades. And also it do have a news filter and also time filter as well. It only open a trade on a specific time period. And I also need to let you know that the frequency of the SNR as well. Now, in order to visualize this frequency, right, I think that is easier and straightforward for you guys to see is that right now, most of the time the price only touches SNR 3 and you hardly see that it can touch to SNR 4. Okay, so it stopped here. I would like to extend it further. So this is by default 1000 point, right? 1000 candlestick. I want to withdraw 10,000 candlestick. You see, this is like the optimum of the market. Let me see, in terms of frequency wise, now here, only here from here to here, it will touch us, then it will come back. And even touches is about 400 points, then already coming back already. Okay, meaning that SNR4 is hard to come back, but it's like indeed it touch, it will perfectly come back one. This one not touches, right? Even though that as a human we can enter, but for point of robot, it will not do anything. Now it touches at, this is still 3, then coming down. Now you see, this kind of extreme move, right, also don't touch us. This one will not touch. Okay. So definitely you can see that most of the time 4 is hardly been touched. And if it's hardly been touched, that is also mean that the larger the SNR, alright? Meaning the SNR level that is larger, your number of trade is lesser, but your drawdown will be very less because your accuracy increases. And when your accuracy increases, your ROI generally is more stable. Alright, cannot say it's high, it's just stable. If we hit the max stop loss, need to wait for the next day, 24 hours. Is it refer to a calculation from the time when we enter the trade of the market to river? No, it automatically wait for the next day to open, next trading day on it. it don't wait for next 24 hours, just exactly the next day. All right, because market usually recover immediately after the big spike, unless that market is like that law. All right, like GBP JPY, USD JPY, that once it goes out, right, it has never come back down. That's different case. But you can see in Euro USD, most of the time it is coming back down. All right, it's like, now this one is abnormal, come all the way down. See, then touches through already ma. Let's say that you fell consecutive time until lose money. Right, this day is abnormal. Okay, this day is abnormal, but it can still restart back from here. Now this day another abnormal. So definitely there will be an event that whereby like this. Down, touches, all the way touch. Here touch, then only come down. Very, very normal. Okay. Now this is a visual way to look at it, but there is a better way to look at it, which is based on back testing. So back testing, let me put it up at one robot and then UP. UP is actually ultimate pivots. And now for UP, definitely you have to use as control point already. You cannot use open price anymore. For sake of fast optimization, I usually use H1. And I use the default setting first. Okay, and see how does it perform. SNR4 can put a higher loss size? Yes, you can. You can put a higher risk per trade because the number of risks that you're exposing is very, very less. So now you see, I have hit my stop loss, then it have break even. Ultimate pivot and SNR3 4, what is the difference? Is it the same? Yes, it is the same. SNR3 and 4 is actually just an indicator. Ultimate pivot is the robot that executes the trades. So you can see this one, what you guys can see here is exactly the way that we do robot trades and exactly using SNR4 using default settings. Now you can see that there's period of losing money. As we have been teach, you don't just focus on winning, you also need to know that why it is losing at the first place. Oh, this one. Okay, this kind of market cannot avoid law. One day Euro USD down by 2,000 plus point. A standard one should be moved down like 1,000 point, but then here already moved down by 2,000 point. And this one definitely due to a news. Alright, this is news event that straight away down by so much. There's no choice, we cannot recover anything at all. Even the recover is like even disaster. You see, the entire market trend is down, all the way down. After that, what happened is that consecutive down as well. You see, it did capture at the bottom, all right? It did capture at the bottom. Just that the entire market continued down for a few more weeks until the end. Okay, but we look into the time that is profiting, and how does it profit? Okay, this is down, next day spike again. In the entire within 24 hours, Euro USD dropped by 3,000 points. Right? Just in within 24 hours, okay, Euro USD itself dropped by 3,000 points. Go one day also not yet 3,000 points. Euro USD itself already 3,000 points. This thing cannot do anything. Alright, and you see, most of the time it's actually making a good trades. So, but most of the day is empty, like fully empty one. This is making by this is a Saturday, Sunday. Okay, good. Now what you can see here, I think is a good case study. I usually avoid the broker that have a Saturday and Sunday types, like what you can see. This is 2022 October 27, 28, and then 31. What is October 28? If you go in Google, 2022 October 28. Now, over this date, I think something wrong with the data somewhere in between, because you see this is a Friday, alright, but only have this short period of time. that means that something wrong lah. Alright, so when you have this kind of thing, right, cannot be considered as a result. So this setting need to be removed out. Okay. Now we just look into recent day. I should backtest until the May 1st. Okay, you see recent day is like captured at the top, and the rest of the day is not entering any trade at all. Right, the market is too less volatile. And even you see the market is like this, down all the way 2004 point in a day. Right, you can still recover. Okay, now Boon is saying in the chat box, backtest may not be accurate due to there is no news filter. Yes, correct. So in the event whereby when there is no news filter, right, what will the robot do is that the robot will, in the backtest, it will just ignore everything. Okay, it will do the trades if the news filter is getting wrong. The reason why in the backtest we cannot have news filter is because it is not connected to internet at the first place. Backtest is not connected to internet. Second thing is that during the backtest, the robot is not connected to internet, and even when we connect to internet, there is no resources to tell us that what is the news during the last year January. I mean, this kind of resources is not available in the market. Hence, got no choice. We just ignore everything. We just do what will it happens if there is a no news event. Now, what I'm going to do right now is that I'm going to start to do optimization already. And the optimization that I'm doing is what I call it as single parameter optimization. Meaning that I just change a single number to see that how does it affect the result. Over here, I would like to change the SNR tree because we have see the SNR tree having more entry. And for the time being, let me see if I can do it very, very fast on my computer. Okay, some student actually asking me, hey, Ethan, why your backtest is so fast? Yes, I built my desktop for very, very fast backtest and optimization, but then it's very expensive. So don't need to compare the speed with my computer. All right, just take whatever your computer can have lah. Let me see. Why is not happening any trades? Let me run again. Oui. Excuse. Oui. Okay, something wrong with the system. Because suppose SNR tree should having the line calculated on a daily basis, but it does not come out. So I try again on my second M terminal. No. Okay, never mind. Now, even though we don't have that kind of flexibility to do the SNR tree, right? Now, this kind of Saturday is what I don't like to have. It's like weird calculation. You're going to break the calculation a lot. Okay, especially this kind of period. So don't use the broker at this kind of period because they are the market maker. They change the market data often after the session. So it cannot be accurate. or this is just my data break. No, it's really a broker data. Let me try again on reset everything. And then I will try go for SNR3 again. And right now, I jump to the latest date. Okay, can already. All right. So just skip. Okay, not sure what is happening there, but it's working right now. As well, you can see that it is performing quite well recently. And we check back on this period of time, what is losing. Same thing. On this date, the market just dropped all the way down. No chance of recovering at all on this kind of market. All right. And same thing, we can look into here, why is losing as well. Okay, the market crashed entirely. So first of March, right? 2023, 1st of March. So what I can do is Google it. 2023, January. January 3. Okay, so on this date itself, is a Tuesday. So Tuesday this time got what news? I also don't know got any news or not. But what we can sure is that it's not NFP, right? NFP happened on Friday. Okay, on this date, it is like losing money. March, no, this is January. Not much Credit Suisse thing. Okay. So we can see that this is NFP period. Okay. This is NFP period, but even during NFP period, it does not hit to the support resistance 4 and 5. If we put it in the support resistance indicator, we can see that oh, I know already. It's lagging. Okay, let me do some Q&A first. Hi, Ethan, can you use soft FX? Okay, what is this? Is this the real backtest or just a printing of candlestick? Yep, this is something new to me. Definitely, I can just study on this and we'll see how does it work. And if using the robot in the light, if using the robot in the demo, even live without VPS, let's say that started at 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., the result sure not good as those VPS which run 24 hour. Not really. Actually, we've been tested as well. If we just run on mornings, running on afternoon and running on evenings, the result is all okay one, right? Just that the most profit usually came from nighttime. Can Alpha come out with a method to link it to our handphone, because our handphone normally on for 24 hours, just link to active some of the main basic function on it, and the setting of other parameters still have it in the PC. It is much more flexible. So that's why I said that go for VPS because in the end your VPS can be connected to your phone and you can use your phone to access to VPS one. So your phone itself become a computer to do the trading already. All right. For example, let's see that my phone can have access to VPS or not. Okay, so if I can use my phone to access to VPS, I will show you guys how I do it. But essentially, that's why I use VPS, because you can access the VPS from your phone. All right. Okay. Okay, so just now I've done the optimization and backtesting in UP. All right, I just make a single small changes on the SNR. Usually will be a good result already. Okay, now what we would like to do further is that we would like to optimize on a few of the main parameters. Again, what you guys can do is that you guys can go to the membership website, and in the membership site you can find out there is a UP section. In this UP section, right, go to the Google Sheets. And in this Google Sheets, I will say that the parameter that is more important is those that I say yes. All right. Technically, will be two things: stop loss and take profit. Now, for stop loss and take profit, these two, right? We do a bit of changes here. Okay, so we just do on these two of settings, and you just key in the exactly the same value as what been keying here. All right, then do OK and then proceed. Spread I use 10. Now, for the sake of demonstration, I just do it for 6 months. Usually the 1 year is better, all right? But then 6 months is usually a minimum of it. And then you just proceed with optimizations. Then you let it wait for a while. And once you have any Q&A, you guys can type into the chat box. I think that I should do it much faster. Okay, I do it 3 months only. Okay, I purposely do it 3 months only. Just because that I would like to make it faster in the workshop. Same thing, right? This setting, once you're because these settings have a problem whereby you enter very, very less number of trades in a short period of time. So now here, before I run, we usually will do a few checkout first. Okay. For example, when we do optimization, right, we will double check that our SNR is what? Usually we will use SNR 3. Okay. And then this is a bit of tolerance, which I can talk in a moment. And then we have a lot size as well. Lot size usually we use risk per trade so that it can grow over the time. And usually we will set the risk per trade is like 0.2% risk per trade. So that when we are losing, right? So we have 3 losing trade. Number 1 is going to be losing 0.2%. Number 2 is going to be losing 0.4 because lot multiplier of 2 times 2. And then the third one will be losing 0.8%. You sum up all together, it is going to be like 0.6 times plus 0.8 is equal to 1.4. Okay, on a single day itself, UP is going to lose 1.4% only. And this is how I do the calculation. And by doing this, right, I know the max profit that will come is from here. But then on the maximum risk on the daily basis, I'm actually risking about 1.4%. This is actually the setup of it. Okay, then after that, we can set for take profit and stop loss. And at the same time, we can set that what will be the additional break-even distance that we would like to get. Now, if you would like to get more consistency, right, usually what we found out is that you are, as long as you are aimed to get break-even only, usually your consistency is quite good one. So usually we just put a 10 or even a slightly negative number also can. This is like additional break-evens. It's like on the third thread, all right, on the last thread before you close everything, how much is the minimum profit that you want to get? All right, the minimum profit that you want to get here is by default 10, but you can actually be lost a bit on the third trade one. So even that you lost is because you know that from odd, right, long term wise, you can still be profitable. So for this part, you can set it to be lower number. And of course, do a daily setup, meaning that in a day itself, you only lose for like maybe 3% of the account. My account is $10,000 and I'm setting up profit through 3% cut loss per day and this. Okay. And I have a time filter as well, but I just leave it to be almost trading 24 hours. And that's all. Alright, so I repeat again. Number one, I'm using an SNR. Alright, support resistance 3. Why? Because 3 got more entry opportunity. After that, I fix my lot size risk per trade to be 0.2 with an auto lot to be true, right? Meaning that it will automatically adjust the lot size based on my account size. After that, when we have that, we will have stop loss and take profit effect. And then stop and take profit here is like 100 to 1005, whereby in between this range is potentially a good stop loss may occur. And then stop loss take profit is what we concern as well, right? Between 10 to 150%. Now, why we can go to 150%? In fact, we can go even higher than this is because the robot enter the trade, it nearly enter for like swing trading, because the market can go on very, very extreme. Let's say that gold market, gold market September was down, okay, and then was down all the way to December, and then end of December it will start to be January, goes up. So what will happen is that you are aiming to buy only, for example, and then when you buy only, right, September, October, November suddenly have a big crash. Then when I have a big crash like this, right, you get it, you don't just pull back for the single day of 20%. You are aimed to pull back for multiple of these days so that you can catch for December, January, February, March, all the way for entire uptrend for the early of the year. And that is the purpose of it, right? That is what they've been designed for. But for the time being, we aim for small because we are trading on long period of time of trading. And yeah, and then the next thing is that break even. Now this is the number that optional. You can key in by default, or you can just do optimizations. All right, and then you can do this on a daily basis. Out on the worst case scenario, what will happen if there is a slippage, suddenly market crash or market drop? So never mind, you can still be making some profit there. Okay, just like cut loss. Okay, and then because this broker got a bit of problem, so let me change back my account. Never mind. All right, let me start optimization first. Now, while we start running the optimization, right, here I would like to talk a bit of the tolerance thing. Okay, the tolerance that I mentioned just now is regarding to this one. Let's say that we are using SNR trade, okay, and you know that the market you are trading is extremely volatile. For example, gold. So you don't just want to trade on SNR trade. You want to be SNR trade with slightly moving backward, which is 200 point backwards. And let's say for gold, now for gold markets slightly backwards. Okay, if you guys don't see the SNR come out right, it's something wrong. Okay, internet disconnect. SNR. Okay, don't have SNR means that something wrong. So I just drag in again. We. Why there is so many problems in this blocker one? Okay, never mind. Okay, so this is like the number that I mentioned, 500 point. Okay, so we give a tolerance SNR4 plus 500 point. And at the same time, we can put SNR4 minus 500 point. Here, come down. All right, so it's like adjustment of upside and downside. Okay. Okay, so once we get a setting, this is a list of setting, right? And stop loss is 100, and then take profit is 50. All right, and this is the best by far. And what I will take is a 50% pullback. So I will take this one as a standard first. Now, right now, what you guys can see that there is an on tester. Okay, on tester number is here. And what does this mean is that by settings, okay, you can go in, you can see that here we have on tester setting. Now, this on tester is purposely designed to have customized result one. For example, by on tester, I give you 3 options. Now, yesterday you had learned about profits, profit factors, total threats, drawdown, all these things. But is there a way that we can do more statistical calculations? So here, number 1 is equity over equity drawdown from initial balance. Now in MT4, the drawdown calculation is a bit wrong. The calculation is only calculating on your balance drawdown, meaning that let's say that you open the trade and there will be balance and equity, right? So it's like balance is like realized profit and losses, equity is unrealized. Balance is realized, and then equity is unrealized one. And what does this mean is that now in the problem they also concerned with the maximum drawdown on equity, meaning that even though it can be profit, well, right? But then if your account floating losses is getting bigger and bigger, keep on floating losses. This is like your floating losses. In this event, right, they consider this as your drawdown one. All right. And also at the same time, I add in one more layer, which is what if that this thing have a sudden jump, right? Meaning that you close a big profit day, but your drawdown still high. Now this one become your drawdown. Okay. And this will be calculated as part of the number here. I will tell you that what is the maximum drawdown that the gap that have ever occurred. And also at the same time, what if that your account balance from here is like balance up? Floating losses is very, very small. Balance are growing, all right? Suddenly the account balance drop by maybe from initially 10K, here drop by another 10K. At one point, highest point is 20K. So the drawdown that MT4 said is 50%, because MT4 calculated the distance in between these two is from 20K drop to 10K, so it's dropped by 50%. That is by MT4. By my side is that I don't care how much that you grow. I just assume that you have always getting initial balance and your drawdown is always from here. It's always from an initial deposit. That means that this will be absolute drawdown for your entire account. If it draw down by 10K over here, I will assume that it actually draw down by here. Meaning that your account will 100% goes to 0. It's like you got 100% drawdown. Put it into simple words, this means your maximum drawdown of the entire account. In a way that from here, all the number that's showing on UP on tester, right? This is a maximum percentage drawdown in the account. So here, what we will do is that, we just use this. Usually, if you're concerned about drawdown, we will be default on using this. If you are concerned of maximum profit from initial balance, just like it's on downside, what will be the upside? How much that this portfolio have ever achieved? If you are the type of person that want to aim for big profit, like for example, 10% in a month to pass the profit, then you will be using maximum ROI percentage profit. Lastly, is about profit factor divided by maximum drawdown, meaning it's a risk reward over drawdown. So in a way, this is a matrix whereby you can do a balance between risk reward and return of it lah. Now from here, it can say that this is the best so I just run first and see how does it work. 46 trade over 3 month time is quite good actually. Alright. Now you see it's making some profit, there is some losses and also some profit. So we will need to open up the chart and see what is the reason that's causing us to lose money here. So here sell a bit, 100 point only 100 point then come down, huge profit, good oh. After that, sell, lose, 3 consecutive trade, here about 300 point, every trade stop loss. So fine, alright, 300 trade, fine. Then here lose, also final no choice So here to here is like 400 point already. In between, this is what we call as slippage. This is something that backtest and live market will be slightly different. Live market may have slippage and may not have. It's like, suppose the gap should be here to here, here to here, and then here to here immediately But you see here the entry and the exit of the previous trade is like having a gap of 100 point. In a way, in the MD4 backtesting, it assumes that this gap is a sudden jump or it's a slippage, just suddenly jump in the 1 minute or 1 second. But in reality, it may be jump down first or it may be jump up first. So this thing is what will be make the difference between the reality and also the in backtesting. After that, you have buy, winning. So basically, these small losses, right, is actually due to a single or 2 times losing money. Then the rest is making some good profit. Okay, making some good return of it. And what you can do further is that you can do extension because for me, I'm doing just on 2023 so I want to do extension on 2022. See how much that this setting can sustain over the time. I believe it's due to historical data issue that's why I can't run on too late in the history. What happened? I didn't change anything. It really don't generate any support resistance. So apology for that. Sorry for that. Okay, I just let you guys know there is nothing changes in the robot and suppose that if it work, it should work Okay, I turn it back. This one is 100. That's what we can see from optimization day. This is true. This is 3%. This is negative 300. That's all. Don't know why it happens, but it happens so. Okay, over 2022 June until right now. Nah, it is really weird. 2022 it cannot be run. But it's okay. As what you guys can see, this setting itself has been working quite well, especially for a robot set you would like to use it for long term, right? Definitely you will need to be running on we call this as longer period of time, because you want to ensure a long period of consistency. And for long period of consistency, you will be sacrificing some profitability of the trade one. Some opportunity you may need to give it off. And that's why when you are enter the trades on a long term, right, just aim for longer swing of profit or larger scale of risk reward. Right, that is a different type of setup overall. So for UP, right, it's to aim for that kind of longer swing. You usually hold the trend like 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. That is very, very, very common. Okay. Now, I believe that most of the things that over the UP part, I have already pretty much covered. And again, I would like to say is that for UP, the backtest optimization speed is really depends on your own computer. You can see that I have done it quite fast, but on your own computer, technically, I will say that it will take about 10 to 15 minutes to complete it. Okay. And the field setting that I've been suggest is SNR 3, all right, which is this one. You can slightly adjust to be higher tolerance, meaning that less aggressive to enter the trade if the market is very, very volatile, slightly increased by 100 point or 200 point. And then here auto lot size true with risk per trade of 0.2. Stop loss take profit, these two need to do optimizations and just let it optimize. After that, you do a break evens, and then you have done this profile setup need to be true, meaning that in a day you have a cut loss system of maximum like 3% of $300. You can set it higher like 4% or 4.5% also can. All right, time filter wise, don't need to change anything, just leave it to be. And also remember that the spread itself, in order to be replicate the same thing, you will need to make sure that the spread is always near to what your broker can provide to you guys, right? So like for example, spread for Euro USD is about 10, GBP USD is about 15, and then gold is about 40. EU 10, GU about 15, gold is about 40. We always take the higher mark, right? Because if it can profit on a higher spread, that means that it also can be profit in a lower spread environment as well. But if it can profit in lower spread, then likely that it cannot be profit in higher spread. Other than that, the break-even buffer is something that you may do a bit on adjustment based on your own criteria. How much is the minimum profit that you want to take for recovery? At least a minimum of 10 points is also fine one. You want to be even more aggressive, then you put a negative number lor. Or you want to take more profit, more RI, then take a higher number. 100 point, 200 point. Okay, this is something that you can do a bit of adjustment on it. And just do the adjustment here. Okay, again for UP, right? How to be more sustainable is that you can't just use single market UP. You will be using multiple market UP as well, which is including EU, GU, and gold all together, bundle together, and then do the optimization together. All right, I mean, have multiple market bundled together. You can also at the same time you can trade on USD pair only, right, which is all on USD foreign market, or you can trade on those market that is more volatile. For example, GBP JPY. Now the case of GBP JPY is slightly different, whereby when you open up the chart of GBP JPY, right, you will notice that the volatility is extremely huge and likely that it will boost out to the another side. For an example, okay, so over here, the GB3, the GB JPY, the SNR 3, because GB, any market that related to JPY have an effect whereby it will usually spike up too much or spike down too much. Okay, so if you have any question, you can type in the chat box right now while I'm waiting the MT4 to fix the problem. So for example, like TradingView, we can use a free version basic to proceed our test without asking us to register any of the VPS, right? Yes, it is. is there any some other AI system that in the market that must have VPS or just can link to the official website only like TradingView does? We only join as a member. Handphone can view and use TradingView. Okay, it's like this. Right now, you have to classify that TradingView is an online-based application, and MT4 is a window-based application. By window-based application, that means that it is bundled with Windows. Bundled with Windows means it cannot be unplugged from Windows. And that also means that as long as you are using MT4, right, you have to open the computer to use it, right? And you have been realized is that MT4 phone version and the computer version have a big difference. MT4 phone version at most you only have indicator. And the phone version, you can't even put in a custom indicator. You can't write the code in it. But TradingView is fully a web-based application. By a web-based application means that you don't need to download anything at all, right? You can immediately use TradingView just from a link. And if it's from a link, meaning that everything is bundled within the TradingView servers. Something like Google, Facebook, all this kind of social media website. They are designing the entire architecture from social media point of view. And the reason why we need to have VPS is because we would like to unplug MT4 server to the cloud. And when we want to unplug it, definitely we need to have a place to host it. Then we host it on VPS. Alright. But the case is on TradingView is different. They are providing you guys for free is because they are collecting market data. Right? They are getting, I mean, it's what people said. If you are free, then you are the product. If you can get it for free, like credit card, you can get it for free, then you are the product of that credit card. So same thing, if you're using TradingView for free, then you are a product of TradingView. So in a way that, now that really depends on what you want to do. If you say that you want to go for auto trading, right, meaning that the auto execution or auto buy and auto sell, then that will definitely require you to come out with VPS, right? You need to have a server to host it. S stands for server, VPS server. And to host it, what does it mean by hosting it? Hosting it means let it to be there 24/7, and it's like a computer but running from 24/7. But TradingView is slightly different. TradingView have already a server there to host it. So every single signal is just processing in their own server. They already pay the price for you. Just that it have bundle pack so that everyone can bundle all together. Alright. Now, that means that auto trading is not possible, but the thing that is possible will be the price detection system. For example, you want to be triggered on the entry and exit based on the signals on it, and you just want to receive the signals. Then what you can do is that you can use TradingView and then set the price alert. And then from a price alert from TradingView, you receive it, then you just execute the trade. Could be manually, could be, I don't know, right? You can create a script program to do it. Now, VPS can as cheap as a free version also. For example, Amazon do provide a free version of VPS. Google also provide a free version of VPS. Microsoft provide a $200 of 3-month VPS. But then it's all window-based VPS, so that it is quite expensive. That's why what we are doing is that we are actually rebuild the entire MT4 system to remove it out of the window. But this thing is much harder than what we have think of. And basically, in MT4, right, there are a few of the architecture behind the scenes, such as like candlesticks. Number one, the candlestick that you are seeing, right, is moving every single second, every single millisecond, every single market is up and down. And in a way that you have to know, if one price up and down is 1 KB, for example, in a day that I'm using more than a few GB of internet connection, in a month is lots of internet price that I have to pay. And other than that is, now in MT4, the power is that you can set up the coding system locally. In TradingView, you can set up the trading system in their own server. And the difficulty part here is that because multiple people are using it, so that you you are seeing as if like you are using your own computer or on phone, but they are actually hosting it. As long as you open up the training view, they have another server at the backside that one-to-one mirror to you. And if there's like 1,000 plus people, then there will be 1,000 plus of server automatically open up and then automatically close off. So these are the skills that is totally out of algo trading, but we call this more like architectures, infrastructure based of setup for robot trading. Okay, which is more towards computer side or server side. Okay, now coming back to here again, what is the purpose of you using this? All right, are you using it for auto trading? Then you can see that TradingView right now also cannot do auto trading, right? And I will say that you want to have a system that can be just run. I will say that just go for VPS law. All right. I mean, no point that I argue for the things that as low as just 50 to 60 ringgit per month. Okay, so is there some other AI system that have? Okay, but then again, if you know any reliable free VPS that don't need to pay any cost at all right, or as low as like 1 or 2 ringgit of costing of VPS solution, I'm open to it. Right, if you do know any of this solution, do let me know. All right, I'm interested to explore as well. And if you can find anyone that can do something like TradingView for free and still can do auto trading platform and is reliable and stable, can let me know as well. I'm interested to know as well. All right. So now, oops. So for FX is a forex simulator. They are good for practice manual trade, and it cannot run. Now, I do explore the soft FX just now. All right, and from what is I can see that is pretty okay, and there are quite a number of relevant information inside. I can see that the amount of work and effort that have been done inside the trade system as well. Just that I'm not sure that exactly how it works lah. All right. Now in the previous session, I do have a we call this as trading simulator. All right, similar to forex simulator in SoftFX. But then the reason why I remove it is because I realized that it's not very helpful in terms of trading. The biggest problem on trading is because of when you enter a trade, you don't know when to close it. And I directly solve it using UTS, all right? On UTS side, right, it can automatically close the trade for you by doing the trading stop loss. As long as you do the entry, the another side will do the handling for the exit part. Now it can export out the result for you, but then in terms of strategy parts, this is what we have been continue to study as well, right? Is there a way that we can even go even deeper? Now this thing we can even do it in your MT4 account, like this one of it for MT4 account. What you guys can see, this is all the trade in Go market. We study each and every single trade and the behavior of it, and then we can come out with a report like this to tell the trading behavior of you. Okay, how you open, how you close, and then in terms of how you do risk management, improvement, and also how to avoid and some of the risk conclusion. The most important one, it will be come out with this kind of metrics. Now, a lot of time MT4 and even my FX book does not come out with full metric that exactly represent how good a trader is doing, and in specific what will be the other element that we should look at to improve our strategy. So here, this is what we have been studying as well, a way to improve it. And we are making it to be more beautiful into a Chinese version as well. Now, if you guys cannot understand, just need to know that this is translation of from there onward lah. All right. Okay, so this is yes, one of it is on our R&D as well, on our research improvement over the time. And what we're going to do right now is that we will open up for 5 minutes break, and then we'll come back in 5 minutes time the next thing we'll go to DigiView. See you guys in 5 minutes.
Right. 9 Meals to Anarchy.
It is able to be found from TradingView. Okay. Now in TradingView, you can see from here is that here is daily chart. Let's say go to here, right? Now we go to indicator, and then we go for pivots. Okay, then you can go for pivot standard. Now the support and resistance formula that I'm using is as simple as a pivot strategy. Okay, but there will be a better version of it, right? Just that what I found, the closest one is going to pivot here, right? And pivot here, it does look like this, right? Which is very similar to my one already. And just that we need to do slightly different thing. Okay, untick this and show the label, and then show you the price. Then you can use the Fibonacci support resistance. Line width I increase to 5 so that I can visualize this clearer. And then I prefer the right side. Okay, so what you can see here is that, I mean, this is just some artistic adjustment of the settings. What you can see right now is, now, every single time when you use a new indicator, right, definitely you have to verify that whenever, where it will reach to, and then is it logical to apply or not. So for example, like here, SNR trade, once it hit, it fly, right? So SNR trade here will be a bit of drawdown, right? I mean, drawdown is something that for sure gonna have. Just that, how likely that it will happen and to what extent. So you see it hit, then it pull back. Hit, then pull back. Hit, then pull back. In a way, right, you can look into this support and resistance as if like they are the upper and lower boundary of an indicator. We call it as Bollinger Band. Okay, Bollinger Bands. But Bollinger Bands, okay, so it's like this. On a daily basis, one day have 24 hours, so you can use a 24 hours of length as replacing the pivots. At the same time, the standard deviations is need to be very, very big. Okay, not to be this big. Something like this. Okay. Now, it's just that from a pivot point of view, right, on a daily pivot point of view, you see, it is telling you that right now that it has been exceeding the limit. All right, it has been exceeding the limit. At the same time, the Bollinger Band also telling you that what is the limit of the average, right? In within this band means that it's within the average of the volatility. The band size, which is up and down, this representing the volatility of the market. And the center line, this is like actually the pivot itself lah. All right. And how you can use this Bollinger Band is a combination of the support resistance and the pullback of the average. Now, a Bollinger Band is what actually? We have been talking about volume profile. Okay, and this is the center, and this is actually the mean of the center, right, which is the moving average. And then we have to talk about the volume profile, right, which is this is a profile, this is a value area. And I see that the value area is actually the 70% one standard deviations. Okay, this is the like the peak of the mountain. But what if you expand further? This is 1 so expand further, there will be like 2. Okay, in this region is like 2 standard deviation that is equal to 97% of the time. 97% of the time, the price is within this period of time. 97 of the last 24 candlestick. Okay, that is also mean that the chances price reach here will have high chance that coming back. When the price reach here, have a high chance that we're coming back to the value area. But then this Bollinger Band is not calculating based on, we call this as volume. It only calculating based on the price. Because Forex market, the volume is not accurate. And how people are using this is like, as long as it has gone beyond it and really go beyond the support resistance, let's say this one, gone beyond it is an opportunity to make a sell. But market may go abnormal as well. Just that this is like a supportive tools for you to know that, hey, this is beyond and it's indeed beyond the normal, then you'll pull back. Right? It's a filter system now. So this is like go beyond, near to the resistance, they come back already. Okay, these are beyond, coming back. Very, very rare lah, right? Like beyond, they're coming back. Beyond, ranging for long term, not coming down. Alright, this thing may come in as well. Come down, beyond, go back already. Come down, goes down, this is draw down, then only pull back. Okay, so in a way, right, this is how you guys should do it as well. Alright, whenever you found a strategy, a method, okay, let's say that you really don't want to use any VPS, okay, you just want to be fully online to be in the trading view. What you guys can do is that there is a thing called as Pine Editors. Alright, go ahead and learn about Pine Editors. Let's say that you're interested about Bollinger Band, then you learn about Pine Editors, and then you do the coding here. Now, Ethan, what if I don't know about Pine Editor? Go to ChatGPT. Right, this is ChatGPT that we've been showing you guys yesterday. And what you should do is create a TradingView PineScript program for Bollinger Band trading strategy with take profit and stop loss. Da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Done. Guys, take it. Alright. So then, of course, right now TradingView is already in version 5. So I said modify into version equal to 5. Da-da-da-da-da. That's ready. And this one can be done even on the free versions of VPS. I mean, free version of ChatGPT. Okay, so we copy this code that been done already. Open a new one. I built a new strategy. Okay, a strategy is a system whereby it will automatically tell when to buy and when to sell one. Okay, Bollinger Band with take profit stop loss testing. So you just Control S to save it. Yes, save it to this name. And then it will compile. Tell you the potential errors. Okay, so if you get any errors also, alright. Fix the error. I don't know what he fixed for, but I guess it's this part. Okay, I just copy because this is the part that had errors, so I just copy this part. Control S, save it. Compiling, done. Right, this is just warning, so okay, just ignore. So then you just open into the chart, add to the chart. Add to the chart. Okay, so you can see right now it has been added into the charts, and then you can make slightly adjustment from the strategy here. Okay. So the take profit multipliers and then the stop loss multipliers, deviations, what the fuck is this? Okay. So from here, I can see that the take profit and stop loss is too small already. Okay. It's too small already. It's like buy immediate stop loss take profit. So what we do is that we just multiply by the setting lah, and see that how will it perform. Still too small, then we continue further lor. Still too small. Then you have to go into the real details to exactly see that how the take profit and stop loss is being placed up. So usually, okay, just do a / means that temporarily remove the strategy first. I temporarily don't need to have any take profit and stop loss. And just based on this, I will sell when you see the short condition that if cross under, when the close price cross under a lower Bollinger Band, cross below, then it sell. Buy means cross over from close price, cross above the buy side. So it turns out to be this kind of strategy, this kind of returns. Okay, sell here, buy here, and then so on and so forth. And then the result become like this. So if you'll be asking me whether it is a good one, I will say that okay, it's a good start. All right. Now, okay, so I think that is a good demonstration over here. Then what you can do is that you can continue to fine-tune this strategy, ask ChatGPT to do the code, and etc. Can ChatGPT convert the Pi script? Convert the Pi script into MD4 code. Done. Okay, but again, last time I do teach about robot tradings, specifically in programming. Okay, last time, which is like 3 years ago, I do have a workshop that to teach exactly how to do the programming stuff. But I just foresee that ChatGPT is coming out very, very soon. So I have to stop doing this already because I know that I'm going to jobless very, very soon. Okay, I can teach about coding, but I understand that the amount of effort needed for coding is far beyond your imagination. All right, so definitely, I am interested to teach about programming a lot of time. And in fact, my first business proposal that I put out for investor is I want to teach algo trading specifically in using programming language. But what I noticed is that majority of Malaysian don't have a basic of programming yet. So definitely starting from programming is not a good start. Until a time that I wait until ChatGPT come out, then I think that is right now a good chance. But the better one version is version number 4 lah, which is that one have a better quality of code, have a better quality of come on to generate the code to do the tradings. But then again, the version number 4 have a bit of limitation. You can only have 25 message over 3 hour time. You have to code your code halfway, then you stop already. Then it's not so friendly at the moment of time. So I just wait for a few more minutes. Okay, I wait for a few more minutes, a few more hours, and a few more days, and a few more months, few more years. See that if version 5 will come out or not. See if that ChatGPT will solve the problem or not. Because in the end, right, what I really want to develop is that I have a bunch of trading code in my site, all right? And from this bunch of code, what I can do is that I can just bring it to ChatGPT. I train it my own ChatGPT lah, right? And then for my own ChatGPT, you just type, it will come out the code. And that is actually part of the thing that we are developing. And we are foresee that the technology right now is matured for this already. Just that we call this as the architectures, my computer, my server speed, all this is not at the right timing to go in yet. We are still waiting for the right timing to go in. But for the time being, what you can see is that version number 3 is already good enough. And in fact, just to let you know, how I learn coding, every of this is that I'm using version 2 of GPT to do one, right? If version 2 can do, version 3 can do it much better already. I tried the coding with the help of ChatGPT, and 8 hours of debugging. Yes, correct. Okay, correct. I mean, that is the current technology lah. It's, I will say, not so good yet. And at least, all right, at least if you have the skill of coding in TypeScript lah, in MetaTrader 4 lah, you can make this process even faster. And that's why right now we are in the era of developers. We are in the era of, as long as you know how to code, with the help of ChatGPT, right, you can code even faster. Right? ChatGPT essentially, right, is not helping those that don't know how to code to know how to code. At the moment of time, the technology is not yet there, but it's helping those that already know how to code, helping them to code even more stuff out on it. All right. No worry, I am a web developer. I know about coding. Sit. Okay. How to get pivot Fibonacci auto? Go to indicator, search for pivots, and then you can find this pivots point standard. This is the one. Go into the setting, you can make adjustment on it, and then you go to find for this one. All right, type, go for Fibonacci. Now, then from here, you can roughly change the time frame. Oh, wow, you see, it's working very, very well. Doing trend following using Bollinger Band. See, this is a return in daily time frame. So people are saying that, oh, you see, they are making so much profit. They are creating a robot in the trading view. I will say that from my experience, to code in a trading view is pretty easy. Quite easy to do it on. Okay. And as long as you have some basics knowledge about trading, right? You want to code it in trading view, well, you see, just ChatGPT can get it done already. But again, if you are free version, ChatGPT backtest is not so accurate. What we have been doing is that we spend around 2 to 3 months time to do debugging in TypeScript in TradingView. And in the end, we just realized that TradingView calculated wrongly. It's not MT4 wrong. TradingView calculated wrongly. And when we translate the code from TradingView to MT4, right, it ends up not accurate answer. So that's why we stop on TradingView projects and we move on back to MT4 at the moment of time. Okay, hope that it gave you some insight on the markets.